So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to this official pre-match press conference with Team England ahead of their game against the USA tomorrow at 10 o'clock in Armband. Delighted to welcome in the centre England coach Gareth Southgate. To his right, Harry Maguire, who will be earning his 50th cap for England tomorrow at the game. And to the left, Team Media Officer Andy Walker. Before we start, please disable mobile hotspots. They have been causing disruption. And note that we have simultaneous interpretation via the FIFA interpretation app into English and Arabic. And we will ask photographers after about 5 minutes if they wouldn't mind putting the cameras down, but I'll give fair warning about that. So please introduce yourself, raise your hand and say your organisation. That'd be very helpful, and we'll go straight to questions. Gentleman there, please, and then to the right. The one behind. Thank you. We'll come to you in a second, don't worry.
Stealing it. Gareth, Martin Rogers, Fox Sports USA. Obviously, you and Greg have known each other for quite a while. You have a shared history at Crystal Palace, albeit at different times. I guess the question is it possible as rival international managers to have a real friendship?
No. I don't think... no, you can, of course, but everybody knows how it works in our game. You compete against each other, and then when it's finished, that's sport. You know, you return to the friendship. It's the same with players when they play against each other. And I've enjoyed my interactions with Greg over the last few years. I've learned a lot from him, and it's been really interesting to see the team progress under his leadership. And they look a well-coached team, which was what I expected when he started.
Thank you. Gentlemen.
Thank you. Harry, Dave Kidd from The Sun. Congratulations on the win the other day. Great performance. Is it difficult for you to find rhythm when you've not played a huge amount of club football and then come into a tournament? And also when so many people have been doubting you as they have been, do you ever doubt yourself as a player?
No, I have great belief in myself. I go on the training pitch, I work as hard as possible, I give my all, I give my best, and that gives you good preparation to go into a game and perform to the best level. I went into the Euros on the back of an 8-10 week injury, and so I wasn't too worried about the lack of game time. Obviously, I want to be playing every week for my club. It's something that I'm going to fight to get back into the team. So it's not what and where I want it to be. But of course, I feel fresh. I've worked hard. I've done extras on the training pitch to make sure I'm ready when I get the opportunity to play. And I knew the World Cup was coming up, so I always put on the extra shifts in training, like I said, and kept myself ticking over.
Thank you. Just wait for the translation, please. Thank you. Okay, gentlemen, second row.
James Ollie from ESPN. A question to each of you, if I can. Harry, just following on from that, although it always seems you've had a very strong relationship with Gareth, did you fear at any point that you might miss out on this squad, given what had happened at United in the last few months? And to Gareth, do the FA feel under any pressure to perform some sort of different anti-discrimination gesture, like Germany have done after the One Love armband, or have you kind of drawn a line under all of that now?
Obviously, being picked for your country is a huge privilege. It's the pinnacle of anybody footballing career to play at major tournaments for your country, World Cups especially. It's the biggest tournament in the world. So I did. Obviously, you have fear of being in the squad, but I had great belief over what I've done of the 49 caps I've played for England, that I've earned the trust to be in the squad and be available for the team and the selection.
Thank you. Second row. Just 1 second. Oh, sorry.
There's a second part, yeah. No, I don't think we should feel any pressure. I think we've spoken on these particular topics for over a year, and we've spoken and supported all manner of good causes, whether that's been individuals in our team or the collective. I think there's a risk that everybody tries to escalate what are we to try to produce a better video than Australia did? That would be impossible. They did it brilliantly. Do we have to come up with a better gesture than Germany did? I think we've got to be comfortable that we know what we stand for. That's not to say we won't do anything moving forward if the timing's right and if it's right, but I think if we're rushing to be seen to be doing something, then we could make an error which doesn't land well. And I think at this moment in time, for the players and myself especially, we've got to be focusing on the games. So, of course, the FA take their responsibility seriously. We're never going to duck any questions. The fact that we're still talking about these matters keeps them in the spotlight and helps to raise awareness. We're definitely hugely supportive of our LGBTQ fan base, and I know some of them feel a little disappointed in terms of the armband not being worn, and we will be criticised for that, but sometimes we've just got to accept the criticism and move on with it. And that's as I see it. I think if we're confident about ourselves and where we stand, then we shouldn't worry about needing to do something to be seen to be doing it.
Thank you. Just 1 second. Okay, go ahead, please. Thank you.
Question for Harry. Mike McGrath from the Daily Telegraph. Could you just go through the Iran match, and in terms of the injury, what happened when we saw you on the pitch? It looked like you might have taken a knock, the way that you were being treated, but was that the case, and was the recovery straightforward?
Yeah, obviously I was disappointed to have to come off the pitch. I felt unwell during the second half, but I've done all the tests. We've got a great medical team with us. I've done all the tests and appropriate action, and I've felt well since. So now I've been on the training pitch the last couple of days. I feel good. And yeah, it was disappointing to come off the pitch, obviously, in the first game of the World Cup. But no, I feel ready, and I'm ready to go for tomorrow.
Thank you. We'll just come over here, please. And the last two questions are for photographers, and then we'll ask photographers to put the cameras down, please.
كريم عبد المحسن صحفي في موقع كورة. سؤالي باللغة العربية للكابتن ماجواير. كنت عايز أسأل الكابتن ماجواير إزاي بيتعامل مع الانتقادات اللي بتوجه ليه بين حين وآخر. هل بيتجاهلها تماما ولا بيحاول إن هو يتعلم منها بحيث إن هو يتطور نفسه أكتر في الملعب؟ شكرا.
Yeah, of course, as a footballer, nobody likes being criticised, but I think it's part and parcel of the game. I've played with Cristiano Ronaldo for the last couple of years, and he's one of the greatest players ever to kick a football, and he gets criticised day in, day out. So if it's going to happen to him and the position that I'm in at Manchester United, I think it's part and parcel of the game, and especially the position that I'm in, playing for Manchester United and the captain of Manchester United, like I've said, with Cristiano playing and me being around him over the last couple of years. He's the greatest player for me to ever kick a football. So he gets criticised daily, so it's going to happen to each and every one of us. So it's part and parcel of the game. It's something that you've just got to work hard, go into training, do your best. And that's what I always tell myself, just go in and do your best, and that's only what you can do.
Thank you, gentlemen. Second row, please.
James Robson, AP, for Harry and Gareth, actually. Harry, obviously there's been a lot of news around the club as well. How have you managed to shut that out and just focus on England? And to Gareth, what do you do to try to keep the players in a bubble so all the outside distractions aren't getting to them?
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's been really easy. I'm here with England. I'm playing a World Cup. Like I said, the greatest tournament in the world. So for me to keep the distractions away has been easy. I'm fully focused on winning each game I play for my country. So yeah, there's been obviously a lot of talk going off on around the club at the moment, but I've been fully focused on England, and that's my priority.
Yeah, from our perspective, it's quite simple, really. We're tucked away. We really like our base camp. We don't have televisions on particularly other than for the matches, and of course I'm sure the lads are following stuff on social media or on the internet, but we've talk from time to time about the importance of ignoring those things outside. We actually had the future king come in and talk to us about that. He mentioned that to the lads, which I thought was a point we couldn't have paid him better to say, frankly, about dealing with social media. So, you've got to just ignore the noise. I think in tournaments there's always a frenzy of need for information, need for stories, of course, and I've lived through a lot of tournaments now, so you understand that staying calm through all of that and focusing on the games, focusing on the training and the things that you can affect, keeping your energy for those things is key, really.
Thank you. Just the front, and then we'll go to the back, and then in the middle. Thank you.
Hi, Gareth. Stephen Goff of the Washington Post. You've seen this U.S. team develop over the last few years. At Wembley, it was much different a few years ago than it is now. What are some of the things you've seen from this program and some of the things that Greg has implemented with this very young squad?
Well, firstly, very proactive on recruitment, if you like, talent identification. Obviously took one of ours, so which we weren't very happy about, but fair play. He's then got a very clear tactical view of how he wants to play, so has tried to create a good environment within the group, but also then very clear playing identity, young side, athletic team, which fits the way that he wants to play the game. And so it's a team now with quite a lot, although reasonably young, a lot of experience of big matches, playing in big clubs in European leagues especially. And of course the game is growing in the MLS as well, so the players that are playing there are also, the level is increasing all the time.
Thank you. Gentleman at the back, you've been waiting a while. Thank you.
سؤالي من شقين للمدرب غاريث. السؤال الأول طبعا، هل يرى مباراة الغد أمام المنتخب الأمريكي هي مباراة مصيرية على التأهل إلى الدور التالي؟ وهل باستطاعة المنتخب الإنجليزي أن يحقق نتيجة كبيرة أمام المنتخب الأمريكي؟ الشق الثاني من السؤال هو السؤال الكبير الذي يضع دائما منتخب إنجلترا في واجهة المنافسات في بطولة كأس العالم، ولكنه يخلف الموعد دائما ويعيش على ذكريات كأس العالم 1966. هل المنتخب هذا بهذا الجيل قادر على أن يستغل هذه الفرصة مع هذا الجيل المتميز ويحرز المونديال للمرة الثانية؟
I think tomorrow's game will be very different to the first match. So a team that pressed the ball really well, with respect, probably a level of player that has more experience of playing in European leagues, top level of European leagues. So in terms of tomorrow's game, it's not going to be a game in the pattern of the previous one. In terms of this generation of players, this is a good period for English football, at junior level, at senior level, with our women's team. So lots of positive things going on. We feel that we can be competitive for many years to come, and that's got to be the aim, really, to have a sustained challenge in the latter stages of the big competitions. We haven't done that for years and years. So these players are putting our country on the map, really. They're regaining our respectability on a world stage, and we've got to keep doing that. And tomorrow, yes, if we win, we can qualify. But the first objective is to qualify from the group, and you have 3 matches to do that. And if it takes all 3, then we've got to be ready for that.
Thank you. Go to Bean Qatar in the middle, please.
Gary Brown, BeanymanSports. Harry, up to one question each, please. Harry, your 50th cap, looking back at the career highlights for England, what are those highs? And if you look in that dressing room and the faces in there now, are you confident you're going to recreate some more here? And to Gareth, Harry Kane going through that training session today, does he start? And how much does match day 1 without the travel sort of accommodate a recovery to fitness on match day in this new close travel environment?
Yeah, obviously my 50th cap tomorrow will be a really proud moment for myself, my family. I've had some unbelievable memories supporting England as a kid, but obviously the opportunity to play for my country is a huge honour. Every time I put the shirt on, it's such a proud moment for myself. Obviously reaching a World Cup semi-final, scoring in the quarter-final, reaching a final of the Euros, scoring in the quarter-final again. I've had some great memories, and I think along my 5-6 year career with England, there's still a lot of the staff who's been on the journey with me. There's still a lot of players who I made my debut, was in the squad and still playing now. I've played numerous times with John Stones at centre-back, who I think I've played near enough all the games I've started alongside him. So no, it's been a great journey. Like I said, we're in a good position. We started the competition well, but we know the World Cup is so challenging with so many amazing teams. But of course, we have the belief that we want to go one step further than we did in the Euros.
Yeah, Harry's good. Came through training, no problems. So, yeah, it'd be a brave decision to leave him out the starting team.
Match day one.
We can't hear you without a microphone, sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, well, I think all the teams have got the same recovery period, which is probably a little bit shorter than previous tournaments, but it's only beneficial to us if we get through the group, where you might have a little bit more recovery time later in the competition.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience at the middle there.
Gareth, hi. Alistair Bunker from Sky News. All the first round matches are almost over. From what you've seen, which side is giving you the most cause for concern? And on the future king, you brought him up, would you like to see Prince William as president for the FA out here at some point, supporting England if you progress?
Well, that's his decision and none of my business, frankly. But we know he is supportive of us. In terms of the other games, I mean, I think it's a very competitive tournament. We're only concerned ourselves about USA because there's no point in looking any further than that. I know some people have been surprised at some of the other results, but I haven't. You know, we watched Japan play the USA, so we knew the quality that they had, and that wasn't a surprise to me. There's some very good teams that might be not recognised by everybody, but I think within football, teams like Japan definitely would be.
Thank you. Press Association on the left.
Hi Gareth, Mitch Phillips from Reuters. People have been asking Harry about the criticism he's gone through. Can you just talk to us about what he means to you and the kind of player he is to have in the squad and the reliability he's given you, and just what a rock he's been for you? Yeah, it's. I know people say for me, but it's for us when we're talking about England, because it's his importance to England, and we wanted to build our team on having the capability to play from the back, and Harry and John Stones, who've played the majority of the matches across the last 5 years, they've provided that incredible platform to build from. We won't appreciate what stability that's given us in possession until they're not there, and that's the start point. And then they defend well, so we've got a good spirit amongst the group of defenders. A lot of them have played a number of games together. They know each other's games, they fight for each other, they have a determination. It's a little team within a team when you're talking about the defensive unit, and they take pride in keeping clean sheets, although they need to liven up a bit on that at the moment. So but it's great for Harry to get his 50th cap. It's well deserved. Major part of us getting to 2 big tournament performances, and we all want this to be the 3rd.
Thank you. Gentlemen in the middle, then we come to the front, please.
Thank you. Danish media, Ekstra Bladet. This is a question for you, Gareth. The FA have been in close contact with Denmark and 5 other nations about the One Love armband. Yesterday, the Danish FA chairman told the press that they will no longer support FIFA president Gianni Infantino. In your opinion, should your FA do the same?
In my opinion, the coach of the team should coach the team, and the executives of the federation should comment on the higher level. I noticed Kasper after the game was saying how difficult this has been for him, and I've got to know him well, and I can empathise because we're all spending so much time talking about non-football matters that it's hard to have the bandwidth to deal with preparing the team, and preparing the team at any time is difficult, and to prepare them for a major tournament is even more complicated. So yeah, it's not for me. If I want to be a football politician later in my life, then I'll become a football politician, but for now I've got enough of a job to do to coach the team.
Thank you. We'll come to the front, please.
This is definitely for Gareth, but perhaps Harry wants to deal. Charles Bohm, Pro Soccer Wire and MLSoccer.com. When these two countries were drawn together in the 2010 World Cup, there was a Sun headline that became rather famous in the States, calling it easy. The group draw was easy, and as we know, the things turned out a bit different in terms of the results. And I just wonder, what evolution have you seen in the way that United States football is perceived in England since then? Has there been growth, or is there still perhaps maybe a bit of that attitude among certain segments of the culture or the fan base?
Have we ever beaten the States in a major tournament? No, I didn't think so. So tomorrow we have to try to make history, number one. We're good at that. We're good at talking highly of ourselves as a nation, and on the basis of very little evidence. So what we've got to do is perform on the field, and we know that we'll play a highly motivated team, perhaps even more motivated because of some of those types of headlines. But we've got huge respect for our opponent. We know a lot of the players from our league, and we know the quality that they have and the athleticism that they have. So we've got to be at our best, and the risk for us is that we think, because we played well the other day, we can just go through to the next game. We've got to find that reset button to have the same psychology, the same determination. I do see that in the players. All of our players are playing at big clubs. They have to perform every week. They know when they come with England, they've got to do the same. So I don't think we'll be underestimating the USA team at all.
Thank you. I think we come to the last couple of questions. Gentlemen here, please, and then the one at the back's been waiting. Thank you.
Hi, question for Gareth. Sam Knight from the New Yorker. Before the tournament, there was a lot of question about playing the World Cup in the middle of the season and the conditions out here. I'm just really interested in your reflections on how it compares to summer tournaments in the past. A lot of the players look sharp. England were right on it on Monday. I'm just interested in your view as preparations.
Yeah, I think, there was a lot of discussion about it being an advantage for us, not being at the end of the season, but we never really bought into that theory that England would be worse because they were at the end of a season. We haven't found that in the last two tournaments. We've tried to psychologically refresh the players, and we feel that's worked for us. Climate-wise, I think we've been fortunate we didn't get a 1 o'clock kick-off. So I think that has made a difference for us, having trained in the heat at that sort of time compared to how the game was the other night when we played. And of course now we go into 10 o'clock kickoffs. So I think actually the conditions have been beautiful for football in terms of those later kickoff times. You like those sort of balmy nights where the colour is visible and the weather is a nice temperature. A lot of my best memories in football are from those types of evenings, really, and I think the pitches have been fantastic. So yeah, we're very happy with the environment that we're playing in.
Thank you. Final two gentlemen there, and then the one at the front. You've been waiting. Sorry, you'll be the last one.
Thank you. This is for Gareth. Ryan Tolmich from Goal. You referenced him earlier. Yunus Musa is a guy that you were interested in and you lost out on. What have you seen from his game since he's made the move to the U.S. and built his way to this World Cup? And as a coach, how do you kind of approach that sort of situation? You've won some like Declan Rice, you've lost some like Musah, where you have these dual nationals. How do you approach those and balance the idea of convincing a player to play for you versus letting him kind of choose where his heart wants to take them?
Yeah, that with Yunus, it was a strange situation because he was in our under-19s really, and we actually went into the pandemic, into lockdown, so it wasn't possible to travel and to see games, and so he was really a player that at that stage I'd not had a lot of contact with in the junior teams, where one or two of the others I knew a little bit better. And that decision was made really before I'd even had the chance to get to know him well. So also we've got a few situations like that where the players actually weren't born in England. Obviously Jamal Musiala was another one. But the guys that came the other way were born in England, Grealish and Rice. So, in the end you've got to go with your heart and where you see yourself. He's proved to be obviously playing at Valencia at the time more in wide areas, and he's done well in these central areas, definitely very good at progressing the ball, driving past people. He's got the ability to go past people, which is unusual for a midfield player. And of course, because of the way you like to play without the ball, he's got the athleticism to cover the pitch as well. So he's a player we've got to respect within the game tomorrow.
Thank you. At the front, please. Last question.
Hi, Harry. We've spoken about your partnership with John Stones, and I know you've known each other for years and grew up as kids together in the Yorkshire junior teams. Do you remember when he first came onto your radar and what you thought of him? And are you friends off the pitch? And sort of finally, in the group as a whole, with this being another opportunity for you to go onto a big stage for all the players, have you spoken amongst yourselves if you'd like to mark the One Love situation, or is that a conversation you might have?
Yeah, I think obviously we've spoke about it ourselves, we spoke about it as a group, and we'll act when we feel it's appropriate to act, and I think our fully focus is winning games of football for the tournament, for the World Cup. Like I said, it's such a huge honour to be involved in a World Cup, and the bottom line is that every player wants to play in a World Cup, but every player wants to win, and winning's the most important. So we're fully focused on the football. I'm sure we will have conversations on that matter throughout the tournament, and we'll act when we feel it's right to act. Regarding me and John, yeah, I've known John numerous amount of years now. He used to play for Barnsley, I was at Sheffield United. We played against each other a lot. He was very good on the ball back then. You could always tell that he was one of the better players in his age group. So, no, we've been really close. I was really proud when I seen him progressing, playing for England when I was a fan. I was watching the lads at the Euros, and John was in the squads back then. So I always used to speak to him then, and now playing alongside him, I think for a lot of my caps has been great, and we have a good understanding, and we know each other's games, we know each other's strengths and weaknesses. So I think the bond's there for everyone to see, and yeah, of course, we're mates off the field as well.
Great. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Thank you for coming, and good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Good.